G'day guys and welcome to this business management lesson. In today's lesson we're looking at key knowledge point 129. That is Unit 1, Area of Study 2, and the 9th key knowledge point for this area of study. Today specifically we're looking at planning analysis tools that can be used to determine the strengths and weaknesses of decisions made when regarding changing internal factors. Now planning tools are thinking tools that you can use to organize your thoughts or to help you weigh up options when you're sitting down to do business planning. Typically, business planning is one of the core aspects of organizing your future plans for a business to ensure that your business remains successful into the future. I've said it before and we'll say it again, that doubt, uncertainty, and surprises are often the antithesis or the enemy, the greatest barriers to business success. The more planning you can do, the more organized you can be in weighing up the factors that are going to affect your business and implementing strategies to ensure that you can remain competitive and you can overcome challenges when they arise is key to managing a successful business. Now, when it comes to planning tools, there are numerous examples. If you whack planning tools as a search term into Google, you could spend an entire afternoon learning about all sorts of different options. But there is only one named in the study design, and that's the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is a thinking tool that can be used to identify the internal factors that make your business competitive or a challenge to overcome. They're your strengths and weaknesses. And you can also identify the external factors, the opportunities that you can take advantage of to help your business be more successful, and the threats, the external challenges that you need to overcome to ensure that your business is going to remain successful into the future. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, SWOT, SWOT analysis, that's where the name comes from. Certainly when thinking about strengths, you're thinking about the attributes that are internal to your business that you can leverage for some sort of competitive advantage or for success. That might be the strength of your employees, the quality of their work, it might be the machinery and assets you have, whatever it is that you have that's part of your business that's going to help your business be successful. The weaknesses are the things within your business that might be a challenge or might impede your ability to achieve your objectives. So perhaps some of your employees are quite new, quite fresh, maybe they don't have the years of experience that someone needs to be a real professional, a real expert in your industry, and that might be a bit of a weakness for you. Perhaps your operating costs are higher than you would like, and so you don't have as much money, as much profit and revenue to reinvest back into the business to grow your business as you might like. Your opportunities and threats are external factors. So opportunities might be that some new technology, some research and development has yielded some sort of innovation that you'll be able to take advantage of to help improve the efficiency or effectiveness of your business. And threats are the external factors that could place your project or your organization in some position of risk. So it might be that your point of competitive advantage is something that's easily copied, and you're starting to get wind that your competitors are catching up on that point of competitive advantage. Typically, a SWOT analysis is organized into a 4-cell matrix like this, and generally speaking, a SWOT analysis is a pretty preliminary thinking tool. When you're sitting down to make business plans, it's important that your planning takes into consideration the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats that are affecting your business at that time. You don't necessarily want to be planning to invest a huge amount of money into trying to launch some new product line or grow your business if the weaknesses and threats that you're currently facing are going to mean that your finances are best allocated otherwise. Certainly, you also need to identify your weaknesses and threats to help improve the odds of your plans being successful. If in the first instance you can sit down and work out what weaknesses and threats are affecting your business, you can then implement strategies to try and reinforce your strengths and opportunities to overcome those weaknesses. But unless you first sat down to identify what strengths you have and what weaknesses need to be overcome, it's going to be very hard to ensure that you're taking the right steps to ensure business success. Now, as I said, there are all sorts of planning tools, and this key knowledge point, while it names a SWOT analysis, doesn't discount the idea of using more modern tools for planning. This might include tools that you can use to monitor plans once they're developed and being implemented. And online web services like Trello or Monday.com are just that. They can be used for monitoring budgets and monitoring deadlines for projects. They can be used for communicating between your teams of employees. They're very, very popular tools in industry, and for good reason, for businesses that have implemented plans as those plans are worked, or as those plans carry on, and as you work towards deadlines or due dates. These sorts of systems are very useful for ensuring that everyone in the business understands what's required of them and is on track. Now, certainly, when developing a strategic plan, there are a number of steps you need to consider. I identified earlier that the SWOT analysis is quite a preliminary tool, and you might do that in the earliest stages of your planning. Once you've done your SWOT analysis, you might look at the data that you've gathered there and ask yourself some questions to turn that into a plan. How are you going to use your strengths to take advantage of the opportunities that you have? How are you going to overcome your weaknesses that are preventing you from taking advantage of those opportunities? There are more on your screen there that you can see, but this is the sort of thinking you'd have to do to convert the information that you've gathered from your SWOT analysis and convert that into usable information for your strategic planning. In summary for this key knowledge point, a SWOT analysis is a tool that you can use in the earliest stages of planning. It'll help you identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that you'll have to consider that will have impacts on the success of a plan. And from there, a business should be able to implement a plan or develop a plan that will leverage the strengths and opportunities that a business has and implement strategies to reduce, minimize, or overcome the weaknesses and threats that the business is facing. While the SWOT analysis is named in the study design, there are a huge number of different tools for planning and for monitoring and implementing planning in your business. Knowing a couple of examples of those probably can't hurt. That's all for today. See you next time.